Hi, it's Rob from Pathway Connectivity Solutions, and today we're going to talk about the Vignette clock and how you can add events to be triggered at different times of the day or based on astronomical events. So in my demo case here, just for example, I have some snapshots already pre-recorded. The clock can trigger any event like Grandmaster, Blackout, Priority Override, whatever it is, but today I'm going to show you maybe triggering 4 different events. So this guy here is a blue look. Let's say this is the outside of our storefront and we need the lights to come on whenever the store is open. And then we have another preset here which is half red and half blue. We'll make it up, say this is something that makes the inside of the store look interesting. And I have a third snapshot here which is a bit more festive. Say this is a special event that happens on July 4th, so it's red, white, and blue. And then there's another one, of course, very special, that should be fired during Christmas or the Christmas season, which is red and green. So those are my snapshots. Looking in Pathscape now, I have a lot of devices on my network, but here you'll see Robert's clock, and it has a playback. One playback, which these buttons are tied to. So if we go into the Vignette tab of Pathscape, and we see all of these devices here, 2 of them are named RB, Robert Bell's clock, but of type, one is the playback, and the other one is the clock. So let's just have a look at the playback, looking at the snapshots. Snapshot 1, if we load this snapshot, that is the split red-blue look, which I showed you earlier, is this guy here. Snapshot 2 is the all blue, and snapshot 3 was pre-recorded earlier, and that is the red, white, and blue American holiday, and snapshot 4 is Christmas. So you can see the levels for the different LEDs being red and green. So we've kind of covered that stuff. We know that we want to trigger on special times of the day or special days of the week or special days of the year these events. So what we're going to do now is go away from the playback and highlight the clock in the Vignette tab here. And here it already highlights for us the clock events rather than the snapshots or zones. So just to check that we're talking to it, we will load the clock events, and then the status here shows us that the clock events are valid, but in the list there is nothing. That's just because we're beginning. So first thing we want to do, every day in the morning, we want to turn on snapshot number 2, because this is the sign on our store, we're going to say. So let's just make a new event here. Create a new event and highlight it. Now I'm going to call this Morning Lights On. And this happens every weekday because the store is not open on the weekends. So it happens on Monday through Friday. So there are ranges, and you can do it. You can have a range of years, months, days, days of the week, hours, minutes, seconds, or astronomical. So what we're going to do is we're going to say this is a astronomical event, and it's going to happen every morning at sunrise. So, and I can offset this either positive or negative in minutes. So let's say it's going to happen 30 minutes after sunrise. And we're going to be talking to playback 1, which is the playback that is on my clock. And what we want to do is we want to activate the snapshot. So this is just like setting up a button or a contact closure or a slider. So playback 1, we're going to do a snapshot, and I know it's snapshot 2. So that will happen every morning. I said weekdays, didn't I? So we need day of the week, and we're not having it on Sunday or Saturday. So that will be Monday through Friday at 30 minutes after sunrise, Playback 1 is going to fire snapshot number 2. And so let's add a second event. And this one we're going to press a new event. We go to this event and we call this change up. So every 15 minutes in the store, we want to, for 1 minute, make the store have this split color. So I don't know, the red is highlighting some merchandise that we bring people's attention to at the top of the hour, 15, 30, and 45 minutes after, and then we're going to go back to the normal blue look. So what we're going to do now is, again, we're going to set a range. This only happens during weekdays, and it's not going to happen every hour, but it's going to happen every minute. So during weekdays right now, I could say that this event, whatever it's going to be down here when I define it, is going to happen at such and such an hour, such and such a minute, and such a second. But what we want to do is we say we're going to have a range of the minutes that it's going to happen. So we're going to say, and it should be during open hours of the store. So let's do a range of hours. And you see right here, it puts an asterisk, and that means it's a wild card. So that's everything. So that would be on every hour, 0 hour, 1 to 12, 13, 14, 22, 23 hour. But if I just highlight this and delete it, there's gray text in this box that gives me a little bit of hint. So look, I could say on the 0th hour, comma, from 1 to 5 a.m. and the 23rd hour. Well, that's not what we want. We want this from 9 to 5, 6, 17. Those are opening hours from 9 to 5 p.m. And then on the minute range, like I said, this is going to happen on the 0th minute, comma, 15th minute, comma, 30th minute, comma, and 45th minute. And it'll happen on the 0th second of each of those minutes. And what we're going to do is on playback 1, we're going to run a snapshot, and it's actually snapshot number 1, this guy here. So that will happen Monday through Friday. Those are the days of the week, with the hour range between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. and the minute range 0, 15, 30, 45. So, and what we need to do is after this change up is restore it back to its normal look. So what we're going to do is copy this event, and instead of change up, we're just going to call this restore. And everything is the same, except for now this range, we're just going to leave this special on for 1 minute. So we'll say 1, 16, 31, and 46, and it's going to take snapshot number 2. So on change up, it's 1, 15, 30, 45, and snapshot 1, and then it's going to restore 1 minute later to these events, this snapshot number 2 here. So that's showing you a little bit of how to deal with ranges and astronomical. Now let's look at a special day of the year. So what I'm going to do now is create a new event, and we're going to call this July 4th holiday. And if I don't check off the year range, it's going to only happen on the year that I type in here. So let's put in a year range and leave it as a star. And then on the month, obviously, we're going to go to July. And on the day, we're going to go to July 4th. And the hour is going to happen at, let's say, 9 a.m. And it will go exactly at 9 a.m., 0 hours, 0 minutes. And what it's going to do is, what did I say? It's going to be red, white, and blue. That's snapshot number 3. So again, playback 1, snapshot number 3. Now, there isn't an except on date range. So what would actually happen is during July 4th, at these times, we're actually going to get back to the red and blue split, or just the blue. So what would be smart to do, because you have one playback on the clock, but if you have another PoE station in the network, or if you have the RS-45 gateway, like I do here, so there's my demo box RS-45 gateway, you have multiple playbacks. And what we can do is we can get the properties of the second playback here, and what we could do is we could change its output priority to something higher than the one the clock is doing. So the normal output for the clock is running at a priority of 90, but if we trigger off the demo case, we can have a higher priority, 110. So let's just look back at Vignette. What we're going to do is actually run from playback 2. So as long as that guy is outputting the events that are happening for change up and restore will happen in the background, but it doesn't matter because this guy has a higher priority. So since this event will be triggered at 9 a.m. and is running at a high priority, we better turn it off at the end of the day. So what we're going to do is copy this event, highlight the copy, give it a new name, and we'll say July 4th holiday off. And again, that's going to happen every year on July 4th at the end of the day, 1700 hours. And what we're going to do is, again, talk to playback 2. And we're going to say we want more functions, and we're going to go to inactive. So now at 5 p.m. on July 4th, that high priority playback number 2 is going to go off. Now, we could do the similar sort of thing through a range of dates for the Christmas season. So let's make a new event, and that's going to trigger this guy, the red and green look. So we're going to call this Christmas. And again, this is going to happen every year, and it's going to happen in December. I'm not starting on Halloween. It's starting at December, and the day range is not every day in December, but it's going to be from December 1st through the 24th at 9 a.m. So all the way through December, we are going to play this snapshot, number 4, that I've recorded onto the second high priority playback. So when you have done this, what you have to do is make sure that you send all of this information back to the clock. So with this, you have to save the clock events. Now, the only other thing that you must make sure is in the device list, when you look at the clock and you look at its properties, that you make sure that the Vignette clock is enabled. I am Rob from Pathway Connectivity Solutions. Join me again.